Yet another day in those red Canadian jerseys for the Toronto Blue Jays where they stink. And the New York Yankees, at the very least, they've won the series. Against Toronto Blue Jays, they shut out the Jays 4-0 this afternoon at Rogers Center. Jameson Taillon was great. Obviously, Aaron Hicks had the bases clearing double there in the fourth on Alek Manoah. What else can you say, really? They get no offense. They have 5 hits total. They don't score a run. Your ace wasn't all that great today, albeit in that fourth. I felt like he was getting squeezed quite a bit. Still, great pitchers find a way to make that adjustment and get out of tough jams against good teams. Couldn't do that today. And arguably one of the worst things that could have happened in that situation, a bases clearing double. You know, if you give up a single, all right, 1 score, maybe 2. No, 3 scored. Other than a grand slam, that's probably the worst thing that could have happened. And the Yankees, once again, are showing us why they're the best team in baseball. Like, I know I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again because I want to reiterate that this team they're 49-16, for God's sakes. They're on a historic pace. First off, before I go anywhere, shout out to the Yankee fans. My goodness, flooded the video after yesterday's game. 95% positivity towards myself and the Jays, and I'm like, wow, that's beautiful. And for all the Yankee fans that have subscribed, like the 65 you guys, I'm like, holy smoke. It's a flood, and I'm loving every second of it. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, especially since I'm a Giants fan as well. I mean, that's my team in the NFL. I mean, I know we're not great right now. Thibodeau and Evan Neal look fantastic. But as we know as Giant fans, we will wait to see it on the field first before we get too excited. So, trying to throw that in there as well. But let's talk about this game briefly, because I don't want to talk about it too much. And Yankee fans can understand that. You lose 4-0, you get shut out. Top of that fourth inning, Alek Manoah goes out there having shoved for the first 3 innings. He's done fantastic to that point. Got Aaron Judge to strike out in the first at bat. Jammed him. This was bat breaks and goes flying to shortstop. Bo Bichette tails out of the way. I mean, he is dealing to this point. Then they get a few base runners, though. And I can't remember what the situation was, but all I know is a 3-1 count to Anthony Rizzo. And to this point, I thought that, he wasn't getting the borderline calls. Because how many times, Jays fans, Yankee fans, do you see in ball games, whether it's Jays, Yankees, whether it's Cardinals, Red Sox, who cares, where a ball is just off the plate, outside, high, low, inside, whatever, and it gets called for a strike, just off the plate. It happens quite often, right? But in that inning, it seemed to me that Alek Manoah did not get a single one. And it put him in a hole. But then you go to that 3-1 count to Anthony Rizzo. And he squares around to bunt. We obviously know Rizzo's not going to be bunting 3-1 with 2 on. And with 2 out. You know that's not going to happen. So he pulls back. And the ball's there. It's not on the line. If you're looking at pitch tracker, it's not on the line. No, it's in the box upstairs. Now, you could also say, well, was the catcher moving a lot? Because a lot of times that happens where the catcher has to reach for it and it's still in the strike zone, but bad look for the umpire and they call it a ball. No, Kirk's right there, catches it right at the top of the zone, and it's not a strike, and he walks the bases loaded. Or maybe that wasn't the bases loaded time. But you guys know what I mean, that at bat. And I'm like, boy, oh boy, that's an awful call. That is a really, really bad call. I know I kind of Falefa laid off a really tough slider in the outer half. Again, just off the plate, not called. Again, it's a ball, right? But how many times have we seen it go the other way? And then it leads to an Aaron Hicks double down the right field line, scoring Gleyber Torres, and Anthony Rizzo. And the Jays go down 3-0. And I think I can speak for most Jays fans when I say the way this team has looked over the last 3 games, you go back to the finale of the Orioles series, yesterday's game, and the first 3 innings to this point, 3-0 felt like a mild deficit. And it was. They don't score a single run the rest of the game. Then we go to the top of the 6th inning. Isaiah Falefa comes up again, rips a double. Gleyber Torres scores off Alek Manoah, and his night is done. 5 1/3, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, 5 Ks, and a walk. Definitely not an Alek Manoah line, but you knew it was going to be difficult against the great, really good lineup in the Yankees, even without DJ LeMahieu and Giancarlo Stanton. But you knew the Yankees would load up with lefties, because that's what Alek Manoah, he's not as good as at attacking lefties as he is righties. So you take out Stanton, you take out LeMahieu, you put in Carpenter, and there was somebody else they threw in there as well. And so it changed the look. He wasn't the best today. I think he was great early on, but once that 4th inning hit, and it was bad. It was bad. Let's also go to that 4th inning, because I forgot about something. Can we talk about, was it Trevino? The check swing that hit him? I mean, look, I understand that the man got hit by a pitch. But he swung the bat. Like, it's not even close, my guy. He's clearly making a motion with the swing, right? Barrel comes through the zone, he kind of tucks it up here, and then he pulls it back. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. But no, they give him the hit by pitch. He goes to first base. And there's guys at first and second. Manoah's like, it clearly hit. He clearly swung the bat. Charlie comes out, loses his mind, and he gets tossed from the game. Leading the big leagues in getting tossed, it is Charlie Montoyo. And albeit that didn't amount to anything, but it's just a call that is blatantly obvious that was missed in that 4th inning where I thought Manoah was getting squeezed. So it was just one of those moments where I'm like, damn, this is a bad inning for so many reasons. But in the end, like, I can talk about the umpire. I can talk about Manoah not being the greatest. I can talk about the Yankees offense being fantastic. But in the end, the Jays offense had nothing. 5 hits, 12 strikeouts. 2 for 4 was Raimel Tapia. He's the only guy that had 2 hits today. And his second hit was a beautiful opposite field drive down the left field line for a double, leadoff double. When you're down 3-0, the man doesn't move off second base. It's just like, come on now. So it was tough to watch. In the bullpen, the problems are still there. And we'll talk about that in a second. David Phelps went an inning and a third, allowed 1 hit and no runs. Tim Mays went a third of an inning, got a strikeout, allowed a walk, but that was it. And Trent Thorne, after getting lit up like a Christmas tree yesterday, went 2 innings, allowed 1 hit and a walk, didn't allow any runs to cross. That's great. 3 2/3 of no-run ball. That's nice to see. But you know what? The problem still exists. The lack of swing and miss in the Jays bullpen. What do the Yankees have? A bunch of guys who can throw 95 plus. And they have a couple guys who don't, but like Loaiza's one, right? Chad Green, I believe he tosses hard. Aroldis Chapman, Clay Holmes, who's nasty. All these guys toss 95 plus. And Clay Holmes with damn movement, which is filthy. The Jays don't have that. They decided to go with Trevor Richards, who is on the Phantom IL now, after getting lit up like a Christmas tree yesterday. You know, I don't know what else to say, guys. I really don't. All I can say is that the finale's tomorrow, and I'm not expecting for anything better than what we've seen over the last 2 days. The reason I say so, Yusei Kikuchi versus Luis Severino. It was supposed to be Garrett Cole, but Sevy came off the IL, so he's going out there. Great. It's going to be splendid tomorrow afternoon, 1:37, first pitch at Rogers Center in the finale of the series. I don't know what to say. Like, I got nothing. I've talked about the lack of offense, the umpiring, our pitching staff, the no offense from anybody but Raimel Tapia. And that's all there is to it. Got to give the credit to the Yankees again, because they're the best team in the league. And once again, they're showing why. And they will continue to show why, because they're 49-16. Meanwhile, the Jays, after today's loss, are now 37-28. 9 games over 500. They got to figure it out. Somehow, some way. They got to figure things out and put it all together. If that means a move being made, if that means just, I don't know, something. But right now, the Jays are scuffling real bad. And it would be nice to end off the series with a W and a winning way against a really good pitcher in Severino. But as I mentioned earlier, I'm not expecting much, because Kikuchi has been abysmal. Just throw strikes, my man, and you'll be fine. But that seems to be a lot easier said than done for Yusei Kikuchi. All right, so you know what, guys? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and not the game today, if you're a Jays fan, but you're a Yankee fan and you adored the game today, because watching them beat up on Alec Manoah a little bit. Yeah, it's always great. Smack the like button. Do appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys are not already. Comment down below thoughts on the video, thoughts on the game. Would you like, would you not like from today's game for the Toronto Blue Jays? The Twitter link is down below, so follow up, send me a DM with that great stuff. The Instagram link is also down below, so follow up there if you guys have not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, Jays, and of course, tomorrow afternoon. Game 3 of 3 because the New York Yankees at Rogers Center. Luis Severino, Yusei Kikuchi. That's the pitching matchup. 137 first pitch at Rogers Center. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching me be miserable. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and not the game today. Talk to you guys then.